the racing line. It's the racing line, Tuesdays prime for sim talk pace, and weekend warriors time. Strap in tight, now hear that whine. Engines up, it's time for the racing line. It's the racing line, Tuesdays prime for sim talk pace, and weekend warriors time. Strap in tight, now hear that whine. Engines up, it's time for the racing line. It's time for the racing line. It's the racing line, Tuesdays prime for sim talk pace, and weekend warriors time. Strap in tight, now hear that whine. Engines up, it's time for the racing line. Racing line, for the racing line. Yeah, for the racing line. Woo! Stevie leads the charge, he is the Warriors chief. Adam's got the takes that'll roast like it's beef. Coach extraordinaire, yeah, Jason's on the mic. Seat four's wide open, who's rolling in tonight? It's the racing line, Tuesdays prime for sim talk pace, and weekend warriors time. Strap in tight, now hear that whine. Engines up, it's time for the racing line. It's the racing line, Tuesdays prime for sim talk pace, and weekend warriors time. Strap in tight, now hear that whine. Engines up, it's time for the racing line. It's the racing line, Tuesdays prime for sim talk pace, and weekend warriors time. Strap in tight now.
Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do.
What do we call this thing? The racing line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host Jason for joining us. Adam's back this week, and as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan,
Let's go, Megan.
and help
Good.
us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about
Yeah.
the other.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got.
Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like what 2-3 years, and yeah, finally face to face.
Yes, our first guest.
Yeah.
On the spot now, Jeff. So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Again,
great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So thanks for sitting through with us. And
That was fun.
And
Thanks.
yeah, it's some good racing. So, well, first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So, as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us. And Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with.
So, Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes. I'm not saying shit. Oh, see, I literally. Whatever,
Yep,
I give up.
there you go.
I know you've had a mute for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
it's for the V's when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
jeez.
Oh, yeah.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Racing Line. It's we're up to 43, if I remember right. So, damn, we're closing in on a year after skipping a few. Good to see everybody. JG2, Adam, our guest Brian Bielanski. I apologize.
You got to make it all Wisconsinish and the whole nasal and the Bielanski.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to join us tonight. He had me on his podcast doing a recorded a week ago, 2 days ago. And he's professional. He did it by himself. I require a whole team to get me through this. we gang
I
up
just
on
can't. It's not being professional, Stevie. You just have a big budget, and I don't. That's
No.
If that big budget, does that mean free? Because yes.
yeah.
I love it.
All right. So yeah, we had some fun, sit around the table and have a drink or two and chat among friends. We've got our group in the chat as always every week. Antonio, Brian, Tam is always there. So good to see
Got
everybody.
Trenton in there. He said he's on time for something.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Trenton, yeah.
There is the first time for everything, my man. So nice to see you on time, and it'll never happen again, Trent. But I'm glad that you're in there.
So with that, we always jump into the highlights from the Weekend Warrior races to kick it off. And Brian, feel free to jump in and let us know what you see or anything that we missed or anything funny that tickles your funny bone or whatever.
All right, off we go. On to the FEs.
FEs. At a track that I don't really think suits them, but Visa Jerez, very long track for them, designed for F1. But yeah,
wide.
we've got another new, so it's a new track for the V's and a new pole sitter for this race. So somebody finally knocked Ethan off of pole. He's still starting P2 though.
I think Brian was in this. You've been running the V's a couple of weeks now, weren't you?
I was. I'm way in the back, but I had a real big highlight in this, and I can mention that at the end. But I thought this was a fun track. It'd be more fun if I had cars to race with, but that's my problem.
Inside of Tortello, just behind him as well. Ethan Orr looking
First time
to
through the
make some
hairpin.
positions up from the start here. Not an easy one as we got
Whoops,
Spinner in
there
the
goes
back
somebody.
row.
Yep.
Risky thing, but we follow them, heading their way off into
And then
turn
this is
turn number 8 here.
The issue.
Covering off for Jim there, nothing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he just got a little bit too spicy.
The stacked
I
up
think,
is real in the
behind Jim there,
draft.
And ended up having some contact and spun.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that it absolutely does. Oh, here we go.
Get there.
3
Brian, you're
wide.
only 21
Extra
seconds
way
off the
down
lead.
backstretch, off into turn number
not that
6.
bad.
Oh, that's gonna be some hair raising stuff. Brewster
Oh, no, you're only
backing out of
21
it,
seconds behind
rightfully
P16.
So. Actually, no, that's Felix
Yeah.
Samoa's backing out of it. My
Well-
apologies. He's still side by side. There's the fight. There's the 2x2 pack.
If
They
I
head their
remember
way
the
through
post right,
turn
you
number
had a
7.
decent day,
These
Brian.
racers decide to throw caution
I
to the
did.
wind
I
and really
I
give us a big
had
fight on our hands.
a big,
In these
huge
front row visas,
accomplishment.
we're
for
3
a
wide
guy
at the
finishing
front.
as
Ethan
fast
or
as I was.
Tortolo.
no.
Felix Samoa's throwing haymakers.
I wasn't
jumping
lapped
down
for the
into
first
one.
time in a
That's
race.
gonna be into P1
So I thought
Samoa's Brewster.
I
Just
thought that
ignore
was
the
big.
lap times that are currently on the
side
screen.
by side squabble
Yeah.
into turn number 2. Looks like we'll see Brewster potentially get the leg up there, as it looks like York Monty also got to follow in suit.
Ethan Orr
So,
taking the lead.
as
of the
I
race
understand
here
it,
as well,
there was a
making
bunch
his
of
way up to
at the
front.
very
We're
end, a
going
bunch of
3
really
wide again with Jim
interesting
Brewster
stuff in
Tor
front
and
of this
Felix
pack.
just for a moment, and they're going to sort
I
themselves,
have a feeling
as
that
Felix
will
trying
get
to get
covered.
the inside of Tor.
It might be.
He's going to make it happen there pretty much.
We're seeing just a new life be breathed into a class that I've
Brian
found rather
Stasinski did
interesting,
say that
and
Brian
now
was
produces some of the best
100%
championship
improvement
battles
in
here
just
this
1
series.
week.
Says, oh, look at Ethan Orr. Thought he was going
Yeah,
to try and
it was a
hold on
big- it
to
was a
it, but
big
he overshoots it coming out of turn number 1, and he's going to drop down to third. Samoa's gets a move done on him. Tor gonna
That's all
follow
any of
in
us can
suit.
ask for to
Pretty good to
improve.
stem the bleeding there
That's
and
right.
only lose 2
Every
positions.
track is a
It's
long
really
track
easy to
in a
lose more
Formula
than that,
V.
especially
I
if there
can
is a
agree with
train
that.
of cars that you just can't file back into. But he was able to file back in there. Pretty good. He's just kind of finding the Jim Brewster into the back of Ethan Orr, and that's going
There
to
goes
end
Brewster.
his race right
Looked like he
there.
got right up underneath the car in front of him.
Going
Yep.
to beat
Yeah,
Brian
they
off
stacked up again.
Look a little bit farther behind, about 2.5 seconds back to be a bit more precise.
They're
Who's
kind
there?
of broke away the top
Brother
4.
Dan. So we may end
This
up
is the
seeing
battle
a
for
little bit
5th.
of brotherly love
For Vendor
come
and
back
Nate
into the
getting their
battle
elbows out.
as well. So who's going to win out in that class? Because it is a battle of some championship contenders in that class as well. Will it be Ladar? Just got them moved on Coliseum, heading off through turn number 2. Actually, no, Coliseum going to take advantage of that inside run through 3. Going to hold off still. Now Szynski
And there's,
going to try and get
Brian
that move done as
Szynski.
well. Coming to the white flag.
Taking
this
advantage,
time by
taking the
as
Spec
well,
2 lead.
Josh. So going to have one more lap of racing
One of
action
the
here
Bryans
at
had a
Barat
really good
with
day, and it
3
wasn't
drivers now all covered by nothing.
Yeah, one of the
What
Bryans
has
is leading
happened
his
to Ethan Orr?
class.
He has dropped down like a stone thrown
That's
into
right.
a
Polish
koi
power
pond. He's now in front
prevailed.
about
1
seconds back, so it looks like it will
There
be
we go,
between
last lap.
Samoa's, Tolo, and
I don't know what
Justice
happened
with
to
the white
Ethan.
flag in
It's
the air.
He might be
1.3
in a good
seconds back.
position here if he can catch up a little
least at
bit
the
more
start
to
of
try
the
to get a draft and
Uh-oh,
make
I can see
something
where this is
happen.
going
But
then.
I've still got my eyes on Joshua Justice
He's,
here. I think
now
he
7
has,
tenths back.
he has a plan for this last lap.
Well, I know Josh,
Yeah, despite the
Joshua
fact he
Justice
lost down
said
some
he
time,
made the
Ethan
highlight
Orr
reel
is
again
still
this
there
week.
to pounce, and maybe a half a second gap as he heads his
With
way down
iRacing.
into turn number 5 for the final time. That can disappear in the blink of an eye. Samoas holds on to it, but he doesn't have a good exit, doesn't have a good run through the turn at all.
Oh my
Tortolo
God,
gonna
that
have to
cl-
try
the
and take
closing
advantage
rate
of
from
that.
Ethan
I
Orr
think
The
he's
to
run.
get
set
there.
up a teeny tiny
The
bit, and it's
run,
looking
send
good
it,
for
Ethan.
Justice, but he's kind of boxed in there.
No
Look at him
way.
run on the 4 wide
Out in the
nearly as they
grass.
head their way down the backstretch into turn number 6. Justice trying to wheel it around the outside. Samoa's going to hold on to the race lead. Justice runs wide. Tolo still there to pounce on the 31.
2x2.
But holy cow, given the sport.
Now we're
I
going
thought for
back
sure
up.
Ethan was going to take the lead there.
On the
Yes.
outside. Here comes Tolo into turn number 8. He's going to go side by side between the 1 and the 31-year championship leader and the reigning champion battling
boy.
tooth and nail.
Oh.
Big bang wheels into turn number 9. Look at that.
Look out,
Justice
Josh.
Trying to make something work on the inside of Tolo.
Oh.
He runs off into the track, runs into the dirt.
Szynski said
Ethan Orr
that they
trying to
were
wheel it
the
as well.
S2
He's
top
there to
3 were
pounce
3
as well.
wide in
I
that
said
corner as
earlier
well.
on, we say
Mhm.
may see a move into the final corner.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
not
think
this
we're at
corner.
Oh, no, 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 no.
just yet. They're
He's doing it.
3
Oh,
wide
hello.
nearly. They had their way down to turn 11. Justice trying to wield on the inside. Doesn't have a good run
No
through
way,
there,
they're
though.
3 wide.
Still 3 wide.
Oh.
They had their way down into the final turn. 4 cars covered by nothing.
boy.
Samoa still leads them through.
What
Oh,
a
the send from Ethan.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh.
going to work.
Yeah, me
My
too.
God.
That was such a good move.
One. I think that may have just given the race win
Wow.
to
Towards-
Right
Tolo.
down to the
A
finish
photo
line.
finish
Yeah.
behind.
Wow.
It's going to be Tolo winning at Samoa.
That was unbelievable.
At your top 4.
Fantastic driving for the last lap.
Wow, great call
Brian.
there, Ron, at the end, and that
Nobody
was a
took anybody
awesome
out.
race at the end.
Holy
Unfortunately,
crap.
not able to come back and have a look at the Spec 2 battle here. That looks like it was fairly close as well, with no lack of effort there.
Tam says,
Some
"It looks like a
cars
good
getting
track to me."
broken down here.
Oh,
Wait
yeah,
for some
that
good
car
racing.
is ready for the
One of the
scrap
better
heap
laps
there.
I've ever
Brian's
seen.
This one here. And my car does not want to go straight
no.
anymore. So I'm gonna go right.
Today's
know,
race sponsor
kaboom.
having some issues out there with the race.
He just wanted to get a lot of FaceTime on that camera shot right there.
Best race of the season, bar none so far. I'm going to venture to say maybe one of the better races that the V's have ever put on. And a track that, listen, every track's a draft track.
The last lap was fine, but there's a reason why the highlights skipped from minute 13 to minute 29.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it was good. I got to say something about the V's, and listen, Jim, please don't send me hate mail, but this was more of a driver's track than I think a lot of people make it out to be. Lime Rock, listen, Lime Rock's always going to be close. Any track that doesn't have a lot of these hard braking corners, it's going to be drafty. It's going to be close. It's going to, for lack of a better word, it's always it's going to be what it is. But for a race like this to be as close as it was at the end, that was unbelievable.
That was driver and strategy.
Yes.
Yep.
So, yeah, great job. Great job, guys. All top four. Tortello takes it home in first with Felix and Ethan rounding out your P3. Your first place in Masters there, like we said, it is Brian, but it's not the Brian we have on the podcast. So, congrats, Brian. Mr. Stasinski for taking P6 overall, but P1. Look at that. Parvinder Ladar and Michelle Lynn are still fighting it out there.
Okay.
They are. Yep.
So, Kurt Nunez, though, the Masters.
Let's go, Kurt.
Not only did he finish first in his division, he also finished in the top 10. So, great job, Kurt. Unbelievable drive. Jim Brewster and Nick Tullo rounding out your top 3 in the Masters. Any notable Nick? Go ahead, Brian.
I should also thank Brian Straczynski and Chicago Region SCCA for sponsoring the show.
Absolutely.
Awesome for them to step in and do that.
Yeah. 100%. Thank you, Brian, for
the V's have had a different one of their own members sponsoring every week. The V season is accounted for by commitments from their members. So awesome group there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brian C, look what it does. You sponsored a race, right? Well, not you, but you got someone to sponsor a race, or you sponsored it, however you want to say it. But nonetheless, look, it gave you some good. I'm thinking of some good karma. You finished P6, Brian.
Juju.
Yeah, you just got to do it more often, Brian. Anyways, any notable mentions, Jason, before we move on?
Nope, covered it.
Copy. All right, on to the FFs. Here we go.
Yeah, I feel a highlight in this one coming
That green
on.
flag set, and the
Formula
drivers
Forward's
are on
at
their way. It's a good
Laguna
start from
Seca.
Justice.
Oh, yeah,
They're
'cause,
trying to
yeah,
pull
there's-
away from everybody
let's
else
see.
behind and leave them in
In a car
his
that's already a
dust
bit
as he
loose,
crests
you
the
get to drive it
hill,
through the
make their way
corkscrew,
through
so I
turn
can see how
number
this
one,
is gonna
now
end
into the
already.
braking zone of 2. This will be the spot where these drivers try and throw a wheel down the inside. Let's see who's going to make it work. That's Jason Chen trying to
Little
make
bit
up some
smaller
moves here in
group
the Spec 2
this
category.
week, but
the driver started this race in P9.
it
He has a
still was
dominant run
Laguna.
up to
A
this
lot
point
of them.
in
I
the
mean,
championship.
the V's were
So
kind of
once
small
again,
this week
some
too.
more
I
points and
mean,
round off this first half
who
of
knows?
the
But
season
give me
in style.
1
Like
second
a front
here,
Daniel
guys.
Tusk
Jason,
getting
take it
off
over.
to
I'm
a
getting a phone
dream
call.
start.
Yep.
Soren Garrett's
Yeah,
slotted
for
in P2s. That's a spinner
so they made it
behind
through
that.
turns
Mario
1 and 2
Ross. He's spun off
shockingly
the track in the
clean,
number 78 car.
but yeah,
Big
turn
moment
4
down
caught
to
somebody
4.
out there. But yeah, you're saying, Steve, it's a smaller grid, but there was a shocking amount of incidents for how small of a grid it was.
Yeah. I don't think anybody got the safe driver the bonus.
Side fight going on involving the drivers in the Spec 2 category. That's Jason Chen and Paul Jackson battling it out through turn number 2. And look
Paul
at Josh
Jackson,
Wilkie there. He's got to look to try and pick up the pieces.
Wilkie and
yet to
Jason
win
Chen.
in that Formula Ford category here in Spec 2.
Paul gets shuffled offline a little bit there. He loses all his momentum.
Himself and Jackson down to turn number 4 and book it. He is through into P
Yeah, the Spec 2 group
now Paul
had a
Jackson
battle
feel
for
the burn from Graham
Yep.
Rory
all
Hunt
the
and
first
Kevin
part of
Adrian
this race.
right behind. They may be
And I was sitting there
three wide. They
watching
head
them.
their way off into turn number 5. That's available to you, or clipping it off a little bit and being
Hey!
a world of trouble. Graham Rory Hunt
that
at the
was
moment heading
close.
to the final turn. It wasn't a
And
snap.
I got the
It
benefit
was a
of
snap through the
2 of
turn.
them right there.
He loses that
Yep.
big time. A quick run through the gravel for the Brit behind.
It didn't
the
last long.
117. And there's some more
And
drama.
yeah,
This
it's
time
never,
Oh, that was
ever not a good
correct.
idea.
Jason Shen
It's
and
not a
Josh
good idea
Logan.
to stick
Oh,
your
the
knees
tempers
or
flaring.
stick your nose
The
into
front
there.
two in that category
Just kept
kind of banging
going.
and roughing each other up. That's
Yeah,
brought
I
Paul
think they're
Jackson
both
right
trying
back
to
into it.
recover the car.
Yeah, that was just ugly as they had their way
But
up.
but yeah, that second apex is always it's almost guaranteed to happen if you
Those drivers
you're not
still
alongside
battling yet again.
Oh!
after the first apex.
Ship it off down into
Yeah.
turn number
Speaking
2,
of-
and he's come to blows
speaking
with
of.
Stevie Ray. Oh boy, I am not
no,
going to talk
Stevie.
about that because I'm
Yep.
quite late.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
No, he, we get one right there,
A bit of a dive there.
and
that
he
comes
lifts
to blows
up.
yet again.
I
Yeah.
go inside,
Tries to
and
get back, rolling
yeah, it
contact
didn't
being
work
made as he
good.
tries to get
Nope.
back to the apex. A really ugly series of events.
A little bit later.
Yeah, it was
And,
a
obviously,
solid move
still
from
plenty of time
Jason
left. Ooh,
Chen.
as we
He
got
was
Buchanan there a little loose
almost front
into
axle
the
to front axle
corkscrew.
at B there. He
All
made the
the way
apex
down
and
into
Josh
P6.
didn't see
That
him.
battle right behind these racers is going
And then
to be one to
didn't
keep
see
tabs
Stevie
on,
either.
and it'll
Yeah.
also decide how this battle for the lead is going to shake out.
For
If
the
those
lead here.
drivers are right in tow, probably not going to see them do this side by side and a swap of spots into turn number
Double
5.
clunk.
That's Daniel
Double
Tuss,
clunk.
Soren Garrett swapping. Again. Here
Not
comes
into
Garrett. I
turn-
thought
not
he was
into
going to
turn
fight back
6.
down the inside to the kink of turn number 6. It's so much through
Hard
there.
decision.
And look at that, the run through the carousel, the disgusting,
You know,
disturbing amount of gravel there on the inside.
I have
It
not
looks like
seen
someone
any
poured a big bucket
corkscrew
of
highlights
cereal
yet. This is
heading to
impressive.
the
Yep.
corkscrew.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
it
kidding.
does indeed.
Called it.
Just
I'm
kidding.
so glad.
Saved it, though.
Announcer's
He saved it.
Announcer's
As we
curse.
see Ross looks
Yep.
like he was trying to look to the outside here, and yeah, once again, that
Always
little
blame it on the announcer.
curve there.
I
and
know.
then a
little
net
tap.
code contact maybe.
Just
uh,
didn't leave
between
quite
those
enough
two
room on the
cars.
outside there.
You know, the front guys
But,
are doing
could have
a
been
great
way, way
job,
worse.
Whoa!
Still, ooh, as we see Chin and
Oh!
he's around coming out of the
Watch the
front
rejoin.
corner. Oh,
Great avoidance from Jeff.
Tough moment
Jeff
for
Hopker
him.
there.
He's not slotted in P13. He's in P14 right now, but that will continue to drop down. Although it would be fitting if he wasn't 13.
Oh, no,
because
not
he has
again.
Not had a pot. He has not had a pit to his in
There you go. That's how you
thus
do it,
far
guys.
in this
Yep.
race. That was a
That
was
brilliant
good.
move from
That
Soren
was
Garrett
good.
to take the race lead. Now
Oof.
Daniel Tufts looking to try and
Felix
fend off
gonna
a
try to
challenge
take
from
advantage,
Felix
and then
Samoa is
Antonio.
right
I'm still
behind.
not used to
Survey
Antonio's
says, however,
colors
since
this
Samoa
season,
said that, the driver has
but he's
immediately been
just chilling behind him
pit
there.
lane, so we'll see Paul Jackson come in 3, 2, 1. There we go. I actually called it. First time I've ever predicted
You mean-
anything.
Good
that
job,
actually
Ron.
went
We're
down
all
my
proud of
entire
you.
broadcasting career. The front three coming down pit lane. Garrett's and Samoa's running right nose to tail. We look to
I
see
feel the color,
that car of
the
Daniel
pain
Tufts
of the color
down in
thing.
pit lane. He's on pit exit right now. There he
I
is.
think just to mess
cresting
you
the
guys
hill
up as an
through
announcer,
the
I'm going
kink.
to change
He
my
still
colors
has to
every
worry about
weekend.
this tight
Oh, yeah.
Somebody did that one season. I don't remember who it was,
For him to
but
be in
yeah,
this
it was there.
striking distance of
to
those
troll you
front
guys.
two of
Yep.
Garrett's and Samoa's.
Antonio's
Let's
been
see who's
changing
gonna be able to
his.
take the race lead. There
I
we
think it's
go.
a season
Daniel
thing. Yeah,
Tufts
season
goes
thing for
straight
Antonio.
out.
Season.
Now
Yep.
1.2 second
But you
gap,
said that
which is by no means
I watched the
insurmountable.
IndyCar broadcast
Looks like we'll be in
from
there
this weekend,
this
and they
time bias. We
there were
jump
like
back
two
to
sets
the
of
race
cars
leaders
that were
heading
almost
their way on the
identical in the
start finish
liveries,
straight
and they
over
were
the white
messing
flag
them
in
up
the air
the
for
whole
Daniel
race.
Tufts. Now,
Yeah.
a lap of racing action for him. 6 for the last time. Looking good for him. I
Yeah,
think the battle
Dan
will
Tufts
pretty
gets
much
the
just be
gap
between Garrett's and
out of
Samoa's
the
and
pit
Tufts
stops
will be
and
between.
manages
Yeah, I
to
think you're
hang on
absolutely
to
right.
it.
I don't know unless Tufts make a mistake,
That's
make
the,
a mistake
Suspended
here
Felix.
into the
boy.
corkscrew or through it. I think that it's going to be a
Oh,
battle
boy.
here as we see
Close,
Samoa's
close,
on the
close.
outside
Good
run
job.
there, making that pass.
Good job.
Reese is
Antonio,
going to try and go
get him,
with it.
Antonio.
Yeah, and Antonio Reese looking
Yeah,
to
Antonio's
follow
trying to
him
get a
Oh!
piece of
around the
that.
outside of
Oh!
turn number 9, close to contact.
Every
and
time
right
I
through
see an
there.
open wheeler
Looks
come
like it'll
that
be
close to
Garrett's
making
hold on to that
contact.
spot, at least for now, they still have the final hairpin to try and contend with. Could be a good overtaking opportunity for Reese.
That'll be
Around the outside of
Daniel's
Garrett,
first win
sweeping
this season,
through,
isn't it?
But as that battling's been
Oh,
going
wow.
on,
Huh?
it wasn't a battle up
He's-
front.
he's our
It was
reigning
not
champ.
won it,
I think
but
he's
it's
got
one
another
Daniel
one.
Tufts
I think he
won
won the
to
first
win
race.
this race.
Okay.
There's a checkered flag.
Yeah,
right
Brian
there.
Daniel
Victorious.
Tufts
Antonio
there
Reese
is our
right
reigning
there. William
champ, number
Garrett,
1.
yeah, he must have
And
run out of gas right at the end.
he didn't win a
Reese is
race
out,
last
doing
season.
the one-woman
Wolveronio.
show with himself and Ada Allen being a part of it. But there's Paul
I
Jackson.
think Soren
He weathered
was
the
sputtering
storm
out of the
in a
last
very
corner.
chaotic
Antonio
spec
picks
2
up
class to
P3.
drive the
Let's
checkered
go.
flag at the end
Yep.
of this race.
Paul Jackson picking up the
God,
Spec
on the
2 win
graphics,
out of
that's
the out of the wreckage. Let's go, Paul.
All right. There you go. Daniel Tuff, Felix Amos, and Soren Garrett's round out your top 3 in Spec 1, but they weren't top 3 to finish.
Antonio
Wolverino.
took
Wolveronio. Or is it Wolverinio? I still can't get that right. But
Wolveronio. Yeah.
Wolveronio. There it is. Wolveronio X Team. Good job, Antonio. Takes the Masters win by a long shot in front of his very, very good friend, Jorg Mani. who takes P6 overall, second in the Masters, and Alan DeGasis comes home third, P8 overall. Paul Jackson, Jason Chin, 10th and 11th overall, first and second in Spec 2, and then Josh Wilkie back there in 16th after some, there was some pinball action going on out there, yeah. But, yeah, shenanigans. But yeah, looking through here, I'm going to say this with a pinch of salt here, was a bit of a cleaner race than I was expecting for Laguna Seca. They're normally, at least in the last time y'all ran Laguna Seca, there were spins almost every lap in the corkscrew. So good job.
Oh, we still have the SRFs to get through.
Fair. That's very fair. Speaking of, you ready for him, Jason?
Yeah, let's hit it. SRF's at the same track.
Again.
Lots of pitfalls for these racers to potentially fall into. You just need to keep a keen eye and make sure you don't walk into a vast yawning sinkhole.
Probably.
There's a green flag is out.
A little bigger
and
grid.
the drivers are on their way. A good start there from
Still
Marco
not up
Panero.
to
Gonna try and lead them off.
we can Henry numbers normal, but we're getting into the fall, so
Samoas and Nazelli, the two veterans.
I think we had 30 cars for this grid.
That's good.
Nazelli got to look to try and keep the momentum rolling.
My God, look at all. I mean, that's a lot of cars for Laguna Seca, Stevie.
For the very first time,
Yep, 3 wide.
Stop by side, 3 wide, a little bit farther in the back.
Everybody makes
no
it through. Let's
expensive
go.
spared when it comes to trying to battle hard. That's Antonio Reese trying to get some moves
Grateful
done
Dad
as
livery
well.
this weekend,
Marco
very
Panero
fitting.
continues to lead over
Yeah.
Martin Nazelli, about a half a second the gap between those racers, as that I think may have been some bad stuff for Eric Luke. He's gone off the track down into turn number 5.
Oh, no.
For him. He skidded
Yeah,
off the
Eric's
track
bad luck
big time for the
continues.
American. Gets his way down in here. He got
Finally
Jason
got a
running
good
right
quali
behind Kane Lasky right in front.
this
And I
week,
think
but
Eric's overcooked it into the
just
turn.
sent
He
it
did.
slightly too much into turn 5.
As, one
Eric
car that
won
got
Spec
slowed down
2
by
last
the gravel
season
was
in
your
kind of a
current
goal
Masters
away.
leader of Jeff
He ran
Fritcher.
away
He's
from it.
now,
So this is his first
that's a moment for
season
Matt
in Spec
Thompson
1,
down
Brian,
into
and-
turn number 2. More
Got
drama
it.
going on. That's
Oh,
the
been very
Easter
lucky
round
for
in the
him.
527.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to make your job just a little more difficult as you're going to lose a little braking performance, a little turning performance. As we see contact there, that was is that Josh Wilkie and Eric Luke making contact with each other there as they're battling for
Josh Soto joined us
P16.
for this race. He's in the black car.
Slowly but surely checking out Marco Panero, building out to a 1.6 second lead, saying fastest lap after fastest lap last time by a 133.8, and his gap is growing because these drivers
yeah,
are racing hard.
Marco's
That's
breaking the gap
and
there.
Lasky giving
Felix
us a
again
battle. Look at
wants to
Samoa
go.
muscling his way through in turn 2.
Wow, that was a nice little over-under move there, and you see the little
And then,
there's contact
Alright,
there,
so it doesn't
and
make
luckily the
apex there.
secondary contact there rights Samoa's back, but obviously he's going to have a little damage on his car now into the pits. So what's going on?
Big
with
bonk. Uh-oh, another bonk. Uh-oh, triple bonk.
Whoa, boy, that was some close quarters.
He's under
They
dirt.
had their way down into
So
turn
far.
number 1, involving the likes of Joachim
That could
Ozbek,
have ended a lot
Josh
worse.
Soto.
Uh-huh.
and Dirk
Yep.
Gall. They had their way down.
Looked like it
Oh,
was
that,
there.
oh my God.
It
It almost did. You almost did it. Right there, Brian.
Tom
Dirt go.
Gradwell.
Dirt
That's
go.
gotta be
Dirt
what's
go.
going on. He is mightily
Dirt
slow.
go.
Oh, no, contact being made.
Oh,
It's
no,
himself
poor
and Dirk
Brad.
Braun that come to blows out of the turn.
Oh, no, it's Tom.
So,
Sorry.
Looking
Tom.
at the time that he spent down pit lane,
Yeah,
Brad
Tom had to slow down,
in terms of pit
and
stops here in the
Dirk
series at 13.6 seconds
just
in the pit
missed his
stall.
braking
Is
point
side
there.
by side for the lead in Masters. That's Fritcher and Reese battling for P5 in this race. Put him for trying in a series like the Spec Racing Fords. You can
This was
really
a great
throw something
battle.
at
I
the
thought I was
wall.
watching in my
C16,
mirror.
As here comes a move from Antonio Reese, tries
That's
to get
an
a load
amazing
on
livery,
into the
Antonio.
turn,
Jeff and
they're still
Antonio.
side by side
Jeff
on
and
quarter
Antonio
right.
Put the
going
pressure on
Jeff
Fritcher
is
from behind.
keep saying
Oh, going
he's,
at it.
For that
he's
Masters
come on the last
class
couple
lead.
seasons.
But Fritcher obviously done a really good job.
With the
Nice
mind
inside
punch,
run
gets
there
him
by
off
Reese.
line.
Is going to take that move to the inside and make the
Here
pass.
comes the
Good job,
draft.
Phil.
Yep.
Fritcher can fight back using the draft coming down the front straight.
And here we go.
Another
side by
over-under?
side to the
Oh, my
braking
God,
point.
Jeff
Fritcher
sent
looking
it.
For a move around the outside into turn number 2.
No
You
way he
gotta
holds on to
command him
that.
To make a move like
Nope.
that.
I was
stick.
gonna
He's
say.
gonna back out of it.
Not enough gripper on the outside
Potentially,
there.
you can see practically millimeters of separation.
Well, there's
between
someone
the two.
working in the
For
background
early
there,
pit and then
too.
Making the mistake in the pit lane is going to cost him.
Through the field like a hot knife through butter, scything their way through the field, even breaking out
Halfway.
the thesaurus on that one.
God.
No, boy.
It is
Monty
so
playing the
difficult
playing
in
with
these these cars to
Yeah,
be
that
right
was
behind the
very,
car
very
into
tight through
turn
there. I
6.
think Monty just maybe lifted a
Because
touch.
you can't see where that
apex
Pleva
is.
took it just
Yeah, you can't
flat
see the
out
apex and you can't see the brake
almost
markers.
contact there between the two cars.
I see that
and so
Jason
contact
keeps
there between
highlighting
Soto and
Soto's name
Russell.
as he drives
You
through
see
the field
battles
here.
are starting to heat
So
up as we get, at the halfway
Oh,
point
it's just
of the race.
there was a battle going
We'll
on in the
start
back of
seeing our
shot.
pit stops
okay.
trickle in. Then we'll get the mad rush toward the end, and their contact there,
Yeah.
and that's going to bump Monty off the track.
He's just retiring because
Monty
of
turned into
frustration
him.
as Wilkie runs wide out of 6. He's now got a fight on his hands with Matthew Mercia on the inside, trying to make something work side by side.
I think this is the first race Matt Mercia has joined us in the SRFs. He's raced a bunch in the V's, so it's good to see him join us in the SRFs.
Yeah, so it's very, very, very hard to try and do that with a regular spec racer Ford as Mercia and Wilkie side by side.
Oh my God!
Oh boy! And here comes Jason Perry. Gonna try and pick up.
This
the
is
pieces
gonna
after
get
those drivers
spicy.
nearly came to blows.
Into
He's
the
there,
kink.
those two chew each other
Up
out,
to
and now
the-
he's gonna try and pick up the crumbs.
to the corkscrew.
Oh, they already got
Wilkie
through the
back
kink.
on the
That's
high
oh my
side
God! It was
into
the
the
kink that they did
corkscrew.
that.
He's gonna go.
Yeah.
Contact being made side to
Turn
side,
6.
wheel to wheel, and door to door. Just as
I
Soto
talked to
and Russell
JP about
come in
this
at
after the
front,
race,
that'll
and
the race lead back
he
to
showed
Marco
some
Pinero, but that's
uncharacteristic
Wilkie
patience
and
there.
Mercia
Yes.
losing it as well.
Which
Jason
paid
Perry
off
gonna
right
begin to
here
try
around
and
the
make
outside.
that
Wow.
move work. There you go.
Oh, Josh.
Nice. There's been some drama.
Yeah, Josh
involved
did, and Josh
Braun.
did it, yeah.
Let's take a look at side-by-side racing with himself and Leonard Gies.
Oh no, Dirk! No!
Locks up the rears big time into
that
the turn,
was very
swapping
close.
edge.
That was
Big
extremely
run there from
close.
Dirk Braun. That
They
will cost
actually
him
did
big
not
time
make
in that Spec
contact
2
there.
category. Your race winner last time out.
Just
Somehow
somehow.
that big
It's-
time here today.
yeah.
Is side by side.
That's
That's
a great
Samoa's and
avoidance from
Lasky
Leonard
side
there.
by side into the corkscrew.
Felix
and
on the
there he
recovery
goes, Samoa's up
had to
the
pit
third.
early for
And
damage,
we're going to be white flagged this time by.
making the pass
One
back
more
on the
lap
podium,
of
and then
racing
Kane
action, and one more
unfortunately
lap around for Marco Pinero to
short field
just cap
a
off
little too much,
incredible
and had to
performance
pit
here
on the last lap
at
there.
Laguna Seca. Kane Lasky's come down pit lane, and I think part of the reason why we start to see that driver drop
Monty ran
off
out
when
of
it came to
spinach.
pace on top of. So Lasky going to exit out, so just barely inside the top 15, I believe. As here we go, that's Russell and Eric Luke battling hard into turn number 2. That's a battle for 11th. Andre
Still
Vivini
there.
to pounce and Casey's drivers
Still
coming
there.
close. Lasky exits the pits right behind these racers. Here
Bonk.
they go, tussling side by side into 3. It looks like that's a running wide moment there for Scott Russell. Gonna lose out some time, but Andre Favini, the hard charger in this race. Actually,
wow.
no, not the hard charger. The second hard charger is Alace Pleva. He's gained 16 spots. Favini now joins him in that regard with a move on Scott Russell. He may have potentially had a slowdown there. That or he
corners
just
left
decides to jump out of the way. But the front of the field, Marco Pinero rounds his way out of the final corner, and it's going to be his 3rd victory of this season. The Italian is always the force to be reckoned with in these SRS, and here at Laguna Seca, he gets a job done comfortably.
Marco
over
Mercier,
Martin
1-2.
Naselli
Felix
in
with a good
P2.
recovery.
Felix
I think
Samoa is
back on
going
the
to
podium.
finish in a distant 3rd, and a race, Charles, that's
And
so
then,
all. We
we-
had some moments of drama.
We
had
were
some
only
moments of
side by
good
side
side-by-side racing
once, but
action, some
Antonio
strategy,
was
some
on my
thoughtful
bumper the
trophies, and
entire
also some
second
weird
half of
stuff
that
going
race,
on
and I
at the
was
time as
sweating.
well.
As Thompson is going to take the Spec 2 win today.
Oh boy.
That's
Interesting. Pretty close on
So
fuel,
we'll
so
see.
they were all
Oh,
all decided to give me a
apparently
little,
maybe
little
Jason
push
Burke
up to the scene of the crash
so they're
here.
pushing down in the corkscrew.
We always have a little fun after the race, Brian. So.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that okay.
JG.
Oh,
God.
Broke alignment.
Okay. I feel like someone's got a ball.
There we
here.
go.
Oh,
Jeez.
there we go. Oh, Wilkie got caught in the fence.
Oh my
God. Playing part of the
Down there
ramp.
in the fence. Yeah, we love seeing it.
I think that's JP stuck upside down in the
That
fence
is
there,
just caught
above
upside down.
Loki.
Oh my
Glad the
God.
fence held.
There you go. And listen to Ron
You
here.
can just see
Pieces flying.
He's stuck in the fence. That's awesome.
Upside
Oh, I
down.
love it. I love it when we break Ron. He was laughing. I caught out
Oh,
much of it, but
that's
he was
so
laughing
good.
for a good 30 or 45 seconds.
Wow.
Oh, Marco Pinero, Maurizio Nazelli, and Felix Samoa's top 3 there, with Jason coming home P4, Mr. Wolveronio there in P5, Jeff Fritcher in P6.
Hot on my heels.
Yeah,
Yep.
Antonio still has it in the SRFs, clearly, which we're going to find out here very soon with the standings.
Yep.
But yeah, Antonio first in the Masters, Jeff Fritcher second Master, and Tom Gradwell down there in 15th takes home the podium for the Masters class. Matt Thompson, Leonard Geese, and somebody else took home P3 in Spec 2, but congrats to Matt. Obviously, the last name helps him out a little bit to get that Spec 2 win with Leonard coming home in second. Yeah. Good racing. But
fun weekend. Yep.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty clean at Laguna, to be honest.
It was.
Yep.
It could be. Was the track? How was the track temp? Was it boiling? Like
Yeah, that
normal?
helped. That helped.
Okay.
It was
Cool.
not a billion degrees like it has been pretty much every other race this season. So that definitely helped a lot. It was still, Laguna, so
Sure.
grip was low, but yeah, the slightly lower track temp definitely helped with that.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I pulled up the weather forecast. It was like 68 degrees or something for the weekend at Laguna. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
a little unusual.
All right, we've
Yeah,
got
we'll
some
take it.
standings here as well for you, Stevie.
All right, Formula V's Felix on top, Ethan Orr not too far behind, but him and Joshua Justice are going to battle it out for the rest of the season, I think. Parvinder on top with Spec 2, Michelle's right there in the fight. Jason Grider kind of following them up. Mr. Brewster got on top of Antonio in the Masters. I'm not sure Antonio was there this weekend. Do you remember, Brian?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I kind of don't think Antonio had top spot last week in all three leagues, and I kind of don't think he was there this week. Kurt Nunez closed it up there as well. Formula Fords once again
in the
Mr.
chat, and
Yep.
Antonio says he was not. Yep.
Okay. Yep. That explains it.
All right.
Still, you're right there, Antonio. So don't miss too many. Jim you got a battle with Jim going. Felix Simoes on top again with the Formula Fords. Mikey Pollard and Daniel Tufts brought his position back up to third. I think he was fourth last week, if I remember right. Jason Chin is running away with the Spec 2s. Aid Allen and Andrew Love. I don't think they ran this week, so I don't think their numbers changed at all. Antonio, Alan DeGasis, and Jeff Wubker pulling up the Masters in that one.
Let's go, Jeff.
Yep, Jeff doing good. Marco leading the way in the SRFs. Felix having a rough days in second instead of first. Mr. Lasky pulling up the last spot on the podium there so far. Dirk Braun,
a pretty good season.
Yep. Dirk Braun got the lead in the. I got to look around my camera. Got the lead in Spec 2. Josh Wilkie and Matt Thompson pulling up. They've got a pretty close battle going on as well. Once again,
look out for Dirk at Sebring. He was pretty quick, or has been pretty quick so far this week. So be on the watch out for him there.
He's going to get up and challenge you guys in S1.
He could, yeah. He was he out-qualified me yesterday.
Yeah, good for him. He's one of the newer members of the slow motion racing team.
Yep.
So. Rounded out with Antonio once again, 30 points above Jeff Richer and Tom Gradwell. All those guys are pretty tight. So that one is still up in the air, but Antonio's pretty strong. So that's that for this week.
Oh, well, you looked around your camera, Stevie, and then we lost you. There you
Yeah.
are. Hey, buddy,
Yeah,
you're
I
back.
moved it. Yeah, I moved it. Yeah.
Welcome back.
All right, that's the highlights. We get into our guest segment, and Brian, we did an interview with you way back when I was on your podcast, and then I've watched it many times since. And you always start off with a question that I stole from you.
Okay.
And I always ask my guests the same thing, and now it's kind of revolved into your sim racing podcast. But we always start off with what you ask, and how did you get started in sim racing? Where did that come from? How does that tie in with the real world and all that for you?
Well, it's all intertwined, isn't it? It's I started real world motorsports back in 1986. as a snot-nosed kid of a race car driver who thought he knew everything, and my dad was a SCCA racer. Started way back before even I was born in H production and Spitfire or Sprite actually, and then right after I was probably 15 or 16, he got back into racing after taking a long break. Started in Formula V. And this will be great for this set of highlights we just went. Started in Formula V, then spent about a season there, and decided that the open wheel thing probably wasn't the smartest decision he'd ever made, and switched to, back in the day, again, this is going to show you how old I am, Sports Renault, which is the precursor of Spec Racer Ford, and then he switched to we had an improved Touring Honda, and that was kind of where he finished out his, but that's where my love for this whole sport to begin with started, in the SCCA. And as far as sim racing goes, back in the day, a very good friend of mine, G-Dub Henderson, not sure if any of you guys know G-Dub. He was one of my best friends, and he said, you gotta go sim racing, and I had a young kid at the time, and I knew that I'd get hooked on this thing, and I said, I need to stay married, G. I can't do it right now. And then once Alex got a little older, I was like, okay, I'm going to probably dip my toe in this thing, and just started to look at it. And then the pandemic hit. And I, like a lot of people, that was an opportunity to do a lot of sim racing. And fortunately for all of us who knew G-Dub, he passed away during the pandemic. So I actually never got a chance to sim race with him, which is a bit of a disappointment. Well, big disappointment. But every time I strap into this thing, he's like yelling at me, faster, slower, you idiot, and swearing at me. And you think the stuff that comes out of crew chief in your ear is bad. You should have if G-Dub would be in my ear, it would be 10 times worse.
Did it make you faster or slower?
It never made me anything other than that. So, awesome. But anyway, so that's how I got started.
All right. So I kind of touched on it and thought I better back up and get this, because some of our Weekend Warrior friends and stuff may not know, but you do the Inside the SCCA podcast, and that started way back.
That was a pandemic.
Time.
Yeah. So like a lot of people, I got laid off from CBS during the pandemic, and as a broadcaster, I kind of had to toe the line a little bit, and maybe not start a podcast, not wanting to tick off the bosses and everything. Well, when they gave me my marching papers, I had no one to worry about ticking off anymore, and I said, let's do this thing. And October of 2020 was the first Inside the SCCA 200, and we just recorded episode 234 this past weekend. And I never thought it would get to where it is today. I just wanted to do it to talk to people, but now, we go to the runoffs and do live. Well, we don't do live shows. We do shows from the runoffs. We do shows from Solo Nationals. We do every week, almost every single week. Some great partners. Wearing my Goodyear cap. Goodyear is our sponsor for this year, for every year at the runoffs, actually, and they've just agreed to be on board. And without the help, as I'm sure you know, traveling to all these events, it costs money, and I promised my wife that I wouldn't make the family go broke to do this. So it's worked out great. I picked Inside the SCCA for a reason, because it opens the door for inside karting, inside vintage racing, inside whatever I wanted to fill in the blank with. It's kind of a franchise.
Yep.
And now I've got another little thing I'm going to be doing, Stevie, and you know that because you were just a guest on one of the first shows that hasn't even aired yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But. Yeah. So I guess I'm there. Should I make the announcement on your show tonight officially?
It's up to you if you wanted to go for it. This is the sim racing world. So
there you go. So we're launching Inside Sim Racing, and when I wanted to do that, and I started looking around, there's actually an Inside Sim Racing YouTube channel.
Oh no!
And I was like, are you kidding me? And I said something more salty than "Are you kidding me?" Honestly, it was.
We figured.
I was like, I that's my brand, I can't. So then I said, do I do I ask the guy about it? Because it hasn't done any content in over 4 years. And so it seemed like it was dark. And I'm like, do I just ask for forgiveness or do I ask for permission? And I sent an email to the guy who was connected to it. And and he got back to me and he says, well, guess what? And I was like, oh, great. Guess what? That's not a good way to start this. We're actually, he bought the show back and he's relaunching Inside Sim Racing. And conversation began, and I'm going to be partnering with them. And I get to keep my brand and can combine it with their already brand. And we're going to put Inside Sim Racing on the Inside Sim Racing YouTube channel. I'm still going to do some sim content on my channel, and I'm firing up a Twitch channel, which is going to be basically comedy for sim racers to see someone as bad as me doing Twitch. But I'm going to do like, old and slow to 5K or something like that. It's going to be, something along those lines. But yeah, so we're getting ready to launch it. Stevie here is going to be on one of the first shows, probably first couple 4 or 5 episodes. I'm trying to get a bunch of them in the can so we can launch them and get them going. So yeah, we're real excited about that.
Let's go.
So.
Brian, I got something to tell you here, and I don't want you to like get discouraged or anything, okay? But
oh boy. Okay.
Old and slow to 5K. Now, I'm not going to call you old. The only person I call old is Stevie, right? But I mean, Stevie, I can do that to him. But I've been on the sim since 2019, and I'm only at like 2.3.
Perfect.
So
so when your shtick
but you're also a sandbagger.
No, I am not. I just rage quit a lot. Okay, but anyway,
exactly.
So one of the keys to content creation is you have to make sure that your goal is unattainable, so you never run out of content. So I mean, slow to 5K. That could be 2075 before I hit 5K.
That's true.
And I was going to say that. Yeah. I don't know you well enough to mess with you that much yet, Brian. So,
no, please. If you don't mess with me, I'll be highly disappointed.
It's good future proofing for sure. It makes sure that you'll never run out of content.
Right.
Exactly. So, but if you're going to go all in, you might as well just go all in with it. So,
absolutely.
So it's going to be fun, and we're going to do basically the same inside the SCCA show, and having hopefully great guests, and we'll talk about the news of the day. I missed out on the what was it, the split 22 controversy. I would have liked. Could that not have happened a month and a half from now? that would have been beautiful. But no, we'll talk about the news of the day. We'll talk about the new releases when they come out. We're going to not just do iRacing, because that's why I didn't call it Inside iRacing, and I probably would have had to pay them for the name anyway. But so we'll talk about some of the other platforms as well, and that's kind of that is the plan. So
some may remember where Inside Sim Racing started, the guys that used to do it, but are you comfortable with saying that, or
I don't know the whole. Well, it's Darren Ganji is the guy who now is reviving it. He was one of the originals.
We've had that guy on.
Yeah. Darren was a guest here and has sponsored several of our leagues and stuff. So, good. Yep.
So that's very cool. I can also say tonight that I have a partnership with Full Send Sims.
Oh, okay.
So that's I can't not exactly ready to say what we're doing together, but there's some really cool stuff we're going to do together with those guys as well. And can't do this without our partners. So really excited about that. So lots of fun stuff.
Awesome.
So, and the the Inside Sim Racing YouTube channel is going to have a ton of stuff besides the podcast. So I'm just going to be a small portion of it. They're going to do a bunch of other content. I'm not completely up to speed with all of their plans, but they're real excited about the whole process, and I'm real excited about being on board with them.
Yeah, he runs Sim Motion with all the equipment and everything, so I would imagine there'll be reviews and that kind of thing, and I'm just guessing out of my tailbone, but
that sounds pretty on par with what I'm kind of hearing. So
so awesome.
Yeah.
So where else are we going to go with this?
I've got some questions. Me. Me.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on.
Yep. First one, Brian. You mentioned in the run up to the podcast here a racing league. So you said you were on Push to Talk because of a racing league. Is this a racing league you're in, or do you run one?
No, so this is the league that I was getting into sim racing to be part of, and we call it a league. It's really a bunch of dudes who like to get together and troll each other on Tuesday and Thursday nights. And our whole deal is basically we have fun on Tuesday and Thursday nights. And we prepare for all of the iRacing special events. So the 24 Hours of Daytona, the Sebring, they just did. I think they just did Spa. I don't remember.
Yep.
My problem is I'm also one of the announcers for the SCCA Super Tour, Real World Super Tour. So I'm traveling on almost every almost every iRacing special event weekend. So that's but we're gonna try to get some of that going. But my first 24 Hours of Daytona on iRacing, I actually had COVID, and I quarantined in the room that had my sim stuff in it. So I was just like rolled out of bed, drove for an hour and a half, rolled back into bed, and got out, and it was the most awesome, miserable 24 hours I've ever had. It was so much fun. And yeah, and then we did the 12 hours a little while ago. So I'm not very good, but I was good enough to be able to get up to C class so I could participate. And my teammates are so much better than I am. I would be that guy who they'd bring. Yeah, I would be that guy they bring in to be the low guy to get into the lower split. So
the average down a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, to bring the average down. But we have a really good time with it, and so they're going to be on my Twitch stream when we start doing this in a couple of weeks, and it's just a bunch of guys trolling each other while running around with a bunch of AI cars running us over.
Yeah,
I saw the.
That's what we do every Tuesday night here.
Yeah. I mean, we do it like I believe. I just scrolled up because Trent had a question for you, but I believe there was something from Jason Grider that said, "Why just limit it to Tuesdays and Thursdays? You can do it every night if you really want to."
Well, so I'm in a position where at this moment, my wife still likes me. And I kind of want to keep it that way. And she's awesome and doesn't give me a hard time about doing this stuff. And I also have all the podcasts. So I'm recording podcasts on the other nights as well. Now I'm reporting 2 podcasts a week. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And I also work. I have a job, by the way, that helps pay the rent.
Yeah. That takes a lot more time than people think it does, believe it or not.
Yeah, like 8 hours a day. And I live in Los Angeles, so not only is it my 8-hour job, it's the hour each way of commuting, which can turn into 3 hours if it can be a 3-hour commute.
Yes. Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that part too.
Yeah. Okay, real quick here from Trent, because this was a while ago. It said, for Brian, when are we going to get a cage and some B14s on that Honda Fit so we can race you with B-Spec?
Oh gosh, the Honda Fit has been sent to the crusher, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was in a streetcar crash with it, and Mr. and Mrs. Insurance Adjuster said that the Fit is no longer fit to be fitted. So they took it. It was unfit. I affectionately refer to it now as the Honda Unfit. Which, if anybody has seen my manly physique, being the Honda Unfit, which is a perfect analogy for me. So yeah, the Mr. Insurance Adjuster kept it, and I've now replaced it with a pickup, which is not very B-Spec friendly, but it will allow me to possibly tow something to a racetrack, which is something I'm looking forward to at some point.
Rest in peace, formerly fit.
Yeah.
Yes. Formerly fit.
Jason Grider said, "Rest in peace, formerly fit." So
yeah. Exactly.
Sounds like an excuse for a Mini or a Mazda 2, said Trent. So
yeah, I think I may be going shifter kart racing in autocross because I bought a hybrid pickup truck because I live in Los Angeles, and it doesn't have a huge towing capacity. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. But who knows?
Not like your ribs?
See, I have all this padding.
Okay.
You know,
That's
I don't
fair.
need a rib protector because I'm
That's a valid
carrying.
point.
I walk around with a
Okay.
rib protector every day.
That's
Valid.
that's what Larry McLeod runs in the solo, isn't it?
I
Yes,
have
it
no
is.
further
Yeah.
no further comments.
It's all good. It's all good. Yes, Lefty is awesome. He's a multiple national champion in the shifter cart, and they call it cart mod in autocross.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just it just seems very cool to me, and somewhat attainable from a cost standpoint.
For sure.
So
I know Ron Mons did something
Yep.
kind of similar to that back in the day, didn't he? When he was running his carts. So
yeah.
Okay.
So, but I do love back to the B spec. I love the B spec gang. I mean, not just because I'm wearing this hat these days, but the B spec is one of the best families of racers. A lot like Formula V. If you ever go to a race with Formula Vs, and they're just a really great group of guys and gals who run B spec. And if I have the opportunity, that is absolutely a class I would be involved with, no question. So
No, they're good group of people.
Yep.
Are you going to the runoffs this year? Are you going to be announcing them?
I am. We're going to take the podcast to the runoffs. I don't know if I'm going to actually announce any races. They do a great job with the folks who do the actual broadcast at the runoffs. They have multiple we have multiple cameras for the Super Tour, but all of the cameras have a human being behind them, and that's a pretty big production there. And with Greg Kramer and Tom O and Lefty and John Phippen and all these guys who get together, that's a pretty stout broadcast lineup.
Yeah.
And so what I typically do at the runoffs is I do a show, a pregame show each morning of races, and then I do the halftime show between the morning and afternoon coverage, only on race day. I spend qualifying days collecting interviews and all that for those shows, and we put those together. So as 6 shows come out, because we're only in 3 days of runoffs now with the changes, there'll be 6 shows this year, and it should be a lot of fun. So plenty of work for me to do without doing the actual live broadcasts. And but I do enjoy when I'm editing. I've got the live broadcast on in my ear, and whenever I hear an announcer get a little loud, I look up and go, okay, and then I go back to my work. And kind of like how it's also how I watch IndyCar and Le Mans and a lot of racing. I watch almost all my racing while I'm editing something, and I just listen for the announcers to get excited, and then I look up, and then I look right back down and keep working.
Yeah, we had Tomo on this podcast last month. So
cool. Yeah, great guy. So. Cool.
I got another question, Stevie.
Go for it.
Okay, man. Interesting questions here because you're an interesting guy, Brian. So,
oh boy,
you're bringing up you're talking about the podcast you're doing. You're talking about going into all sim racing. Do you want to expand?
Yes.
I mean, have you done anything outside of iRacing? Do you have any other sim racing platforms that you've done? Anything comparable to iRacing? Because I've tried. When I say tried, I tried Assetto Corsa and I've played Forza, and that's it. It's just iRacing or bust for me, just because first of all, I don't have the brain power or the willpower to try to get everything set up in every other sim. So I didn't know if you've ever run anything else and kind of what compares.
I have dabbled, and dabbled would probably even be a strong word in Assetto Corsa. But iRacing is really so much the easy button.
Right.
It's when you look at all these other, you got to have a Steam account, and it's just, I'm not a computer geek by any stretch, unless it's about editing video and audio. I'm pretty good at that. But a lot of this stuff, iRacing just seems to be very, very turnkey to me.
Yep.
But, I am naming the podcast Inside Sim Racing, so we'll be doing more Assetto Corsa, and I think I'm really intrigued by this Le Mans Ultimate that just is hearing. I'm seeing lots and lots of stuff, and we do our sim league. What we use for the iRacing special races is the McLaren GT3 car. So that's a pretty logical place for me to play next with this Le Mans Ultimate. I'm also a Formula One nut, and the F1 game is a little intriguing as well. So
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That game's a lot
Is
of
it?
fun. Yes. I
Okay, yeah.
lied. I do play another one, and it's the F1 game. Because
Sim,
Right.
but that falls under the category of sim racing.
well,
Right.
listen,
Arcade. It's an
anyways,
arcade game.
Yeah.
On to your
Right.
streaming. I saw before we started the screens were a little bigger. I saw the camera in your background. Is that what you got it set up for the streaming deal?
I'm just starting with that. So I have not gotten this camera to work. I'm not quite sure if it's because it's too far away, and I'm still working that part out. But I have the camera in front of me that I use, and I am sitting in the rig. Which, by the way, that's another interesting story.
Yes,
this is a
please.
rig that I just built.
Yeah, I just saw
from
all
scratch.
that on Facebook. That's awesome.
And I'm doing a whole video on it with a time lapse and everything. But I'm doing this because I have a partnership with Full Send Sims. That's may have a little rig something involved, maybe somewhere down the road. Crossing my fingers, saying prayers to the sim racing gods. But so what I want to do is, there's always this argument of DIY versus aluminum extruded rig, and whether one can be as strong as the other, and all that kind of stuff. So what I did is, one of the top level sim racing manufacturers, in their instruction manual, is the actual dimensions for every part on their rig. So I went out and I have replicated their top rig to the millimeter of so I'm using 2x6s, which is basically 160 profile.
Yep.
And a 2x6 is basically 40 by 160, give or take. It's as close as you can get. But the length of the rails, the length of the uprights, right down to the millimeter, and they didn't give you an angle on the uprights, but I kind of angled the uprights that looked like it's about the same angle. I built a very similar, using their dimensions as well, monitor stand. So it's a freestanding monitor stand. I've got an ultra wide that I use because I'm too dumb to set up triples, and that's one of my big frustrations. And so I built what I consider a 1-for-1 wood replica of this top level aluminum rig. And I just wanted to see how strong it was. I've never used direct drive wheels before. I have that now. I've never had load cell pedals before. Now everything before this was on a G29. And I wanted to build this rig to drive it. It is absolutely rock solid. I don't think there's any way that the aluminum extrusion will be any stiffer than this is. I could be wrong. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to test it so I can say, what, in my opinion, what it is. Now, the one thing that you can't, it'll be hard, is wood stretches. And over time, this may not stay as solid as it is right now. I don't know that I'll keep it up long enough to know that. But at the moment, and from a cost standpoint, I don't want to give too much away, but it's less expensive, but not as less expensive as I expected it to be.
Well, lumber ain't cheap anymore, which
it's not the lumber. It's I don't have them in front of me. Nuts, bolts, and washers are really expensive.
Okay.
And I built this so it can be taken apart, because when I'm done, I'm probably going to give it away to some sim racer who would love to have a new rig. And because I don't think I'll ever have room for two, and again, that's part of that staying married thing. So my guess is that if someone in the Southern California area, I will find a way to give it away through the channel, and they can come by and pick it up and take it. But I wanted to have it be able to be taken apart, taken down. I'm also upstairs, so I had to lug all this damn thing up the steps. And to build it, so I cut it and painted it and did all that down in the garage, brought it upstairs and assembled it. But it's just a great exercise, and it'll be something to talk about on the show. And I think it's and I'm handy too. I love making things. I like building race cars and taking apart motors and that kind of stuff. This is kind of like a natural thing for me to futz around with, cleaning this up.
So are you more comfortable in the sim rig and racing now?
Oh, it's unreal.
Yeah,
it's unreal. Yeah, before this, I had a pretty cool setup for a desk mounted. I actually drilled holes through the top of the desk so that I could mount the G29 pretty solid. I built a small platform that was on the floor with a 2x4 in the back, so the desk chair couldn't roll backwards.
Yeah.
And then I had a platform that I put the pedals on, so that the pedals would go right up against the floor, the floorboard on the wall. So it was pretty locked in for a desk setup, but it was still a desk setup. The seating position wasn't optimal. It was as close as I could get.
Screen jiggling around.
And it was. Yeah, and it was a royal pain. And I did less sim racing because I had to take it up and put it down and take it up and put it down because it was my regular desk. And so I've done more sim racing in the last 3 weeks than I did in probably 3 months when I had to put it up and take it down. I would basically just do it on Thursday nights with the boys.
Yeah.
So and I'm trying to raise that I rating. So I'm doing some of the stuff, little 12-minute Formula V races here and there. Never had time to do that before. So that's the big thing about having the rig for me personally is that it's just convenient. I walk over here, hit 2 buttons, sit down, and 5 minutes later I'm racing, and or at least driving a car on a racetrack. I can't quite call it racing yet. I'm not quite good enough for that, but that's what.
Are you faster now? More consistent.
So I'm definitely more consistent. I'm learning this direct drive pedal thing. It is
the big thing is the pedals.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when I get them, then they'll be great. But it's a huge learning curve. I was expecting it. I knew it would be better because everyone tells you that the load cell pedals are better and the direct drive wheel is better. And it is 100%, but it's still different. It's like going from, it's like going from my Honda Fit to a Corvette. I mean, it's that kind of a jump. But even Brian Stasinski mentioned that I'd made 100% improvement from last week to this week in the Formula V race. And a big part of that was I did 2 weeks ago's Formula V race after putting all this together and maybe being in it for an hour. And I've got 6 hours now in it just did that week. And that was where that improvement came from. I'm like, okay, now I'm able to modulate the brakes a little bit better. And I've kind of figured out the pedal settings, it's a workout with the direct drive it is just not a workout when you don't have the direct drive.
Hold that thought because I do believe that Dan is still on. I'll be right back.
So now we're supposed to hold that thought without him.
Yep.
Oh, Dan's in the chat asking me what kind of seat do I have? Yes.
By the way, Dan, I still have them. I just haven't sent them out to you. I still have them, and I will get them sent to you. I promise. Anyways.
So the seat that I have is I bought a driver's seat out of a Honda Civic Si. So I think if I turn my head, this the little embroideries behind my back. And $100, and it worked out great. And I picked it up for a kid at Caltech. Anybody watch Big Bang Theory?
Oh yes.
So as I'm driving up to this place to pick up this from this college kid, I'm realizing the exterior of the building I'm picking it up is the exteriors that they use for the exteriors of their dorm in Big Bang Theory. Yeah, because it's set at Caltech, which is just kind of a little aside. So and that thing is also rock solid, and it's cool because it also goes up and down. So when you don't have the adjustability of the aluminum profile, I've been able to give myself a little bit of adjustability with my wheel because the seat itself, it's a regular car, seat, and it has that up and down adjustment, and that kind of helped out as well.
Yep.
So,
Antonio, I switched from the Fanatic Club Sport V3 inverteds, and I now have the Hoisingfeld Sprints, and it's Brian just basically hit it on the head. I got slower for a minute until I realized how much better that these pedals were. I do have to wear tennis shoes with them now because they are that much stiffer. But in the long run, the consistency, like you were talking about, Brian, is just unbelievably better. You just every time you hit that pedal, you know exactly how hard you got to hit it and where you've got it, and it's just corner after corner after corner. My consistency has improved. I can't even put a number on it. It's gotten way better.
Yeah.
So.
I have the Fanatec Club Sports 2 that I bought used from one of my guys in my league. And the first week, that's another difference between the first week in the Formula V group and to this last week is I was using my grippy socks 2 weeks ago, and I put on my racing shoes this week, and 100% better pedal control with the shoes on. And I didn't even think about it, but yeah, I also tried to break a toe last week, which is a different story altogether.
Oh no!
Don't recommend doing that.
So yeah,
I still use the V3s I've had for many years, but they're really comfortable slip-on tennis shoes that are broke in and fall off. So
yep. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I had those. I would have kept those V3s too, that I had, but the brake pedal. There's like, we talk about, there's rubber obviously in the brake pedal, and that rubber like started getting squishy, and my brake pedal started like clinking on the way down. And I was just like,
okay.
No, it is not. You can get replacement parts for them. It's like 20, 25
Right.
bucks. But why spend the 20, 25 bucks when you can spend 400 on new pedals, I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah. The one thing I did with mine, because I don't use the clutch, is I've mounted them so that the center of the pedal box is right between the brake pedal and the accelerator pedal. So I wasn't like sitting crooked to be able to do my left foot, because you can't really adjust the pedals very easily in that Club Sport 3. You have to buy gotta go to Etsy and buy a kit and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I'm like, if I could just get them so that they're both in the center,
Yeah.
and that made sense to me at the time, and it seems to be working pretty well. So that I don't feel like I'm like squishing my leg over to get to the brake pedal to use the left leg pedal. So, which is also something I'm teaching myself how to do. I've never been really a left foot breaker.
Oh, wow.
So it's all new. Yeah. It's all new. So
I never
still suck.
real world raced with that. I always heel and toe and everything real world.
Oh, wow.
But in the sim, I left foot brake and have forever since I've been sim racing.
Okay, question for both of you guys then. Heel towing in the sim, I've seen people do it, but it does not I've tried it, it just does not feel natural at all.
No, it's not as good.
Yeah.
Pedal placement is a lot of it, I think. But
I don't think, just put my feet on a pedal right now, I don't think I could. I guess I could heel toe a little bit.
I'd break my ankle, I think.
Yeah. So, I was never good at heel towing in a real race car either. So, and that wasn't as big a deal. I probably should have learned that. Maybe that's why I was also slow in that. It's a whole theme of me being really slow.
I was a lot younger when I did it too, so we'll use that excuse.
Weren't we all?
All right. We got any last minute questions from the gang? Heel and toe. No.
I bet you there are some questions. Actually, I do believe there are some questions. First of all, it sounds like you and Dan Stasinski have the same seat. Dan
cool.
built his out of wood as well.
Yep.
And I'm looking.
Yeah, he was on here and showed it.
Yep.
And I think both Dan and Brian use car seats.
They do.
The grill. From cars.
One of them's out of a Shelby Cobra. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I believe that's something like that. But I know there were some questions in there, but of course, I lost them.
I will say I had a whole plan to try to build adjustability into this rig.
Yeah.
And it's without. I think if I had like a drill press, I could have made holes that lined up on both sides of the rig properly, but I don't have that kind of tooling in my garage. So it was really hard, and that's going to be obviously one of the big benefits when I move over to the aluminum profile, is that unlimited basically adjustability.
Yeah, they got the rows in there. You can slide things back and forth and all that stuff that you don't have in the wood. Shelby Daytona, not a Cobra.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay. Yeah, Trenton Kramer, will I be broadcasting the Super Tours next year? I hope so. Usually this has been my third year, I think it is, that we just did. Second or third year. But they don't ask us back until after the end of the runoffs. So I've got no reason to believe that I won't be. But until they ask me, I won't say yes. But if they ask me, I will say yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, here we go. Or sorry, Brian, Dan. Now I got Dan and Brian, and this is just a mess. But so Dan asked Brian Bielanski, what is your favorite track to commentate in real life?
Well, my gosh. I love Road America. That's my home. Mm-hmm. I live in LA, but I grew up in Wisconsin. So that is, but I found this little slice of gold in the middle of nowhere of Oklahoma called Hallett Sports Park. and oh my gosh, it is the coolest little racetrack, and the nicest human beings run it, and the action is so much fun. They've got can I swear on this show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got really cool corner names like the bitch.
Yes.
I mean, it's right there. I mean, if you've got a corner, and it's actually on the track map as the bitch.
They've politically changed that in the last few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody knows it as the bitch.
Yes.
That's where I learned it. Yep.
Yes. And just an absolute hoot and of a place to go to. And the food is great. The people are awesome. The racing is great. The track is really tight. And you're never not turning. You're never not going up or going down. There's nothing flat on the entire racetrack. And it's just a really, really cool place to. And even when there's 12 cars, it's so tight that it's a fun place to get a race commentary out of. So very cool.
I literally grew up at that track, Brian. Cool. From Tulsa originally, and my dad was a mechanic on an E product, or started off with a G production midget and had an E production out later. But yeah, I literally grew up at Hallett, and a lot of my early racing days, some of my first races were at Hallett with the Sports Renault. So definitely a close favorite of mine as well.
Brian, I know it sounds like you might have a bit of pull, and you're about to have a lot more with this podcast coming up and stuff. Go to iRacing. And please tell them to scan Hallett, because I hear people talk about, Trent's talked about Hallett. You're talking about Hallett. Stevie, all Stevie talks about is Hallett. Find a way to get iRacing to scan Hallett, please, so I can drive it.
I'm hoping to have the guy who runs iRacing on the show at some point.
Yes.
I've got some folks who know him, so the requests have been in.
Perfect.
And I will do that. Maybe people put in the chat what racetracks they'd like iRacing to scan, and I'll put in the request, and if I get any of them, I'll be a
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, we've had a couple of guys from iRacing on here. Michael, what was his last name? Races the Formula V. Michael Hinkle, and Sean
Ambrose.
The other Sean Ambrose was on.
Yep.
So
So yeah, good stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I'm done. I have no more questions, believe it or not.
Cool.
AG.
One other thing I'm going to do on the Twitch, by the way, besides just what normal, I'm going to drive every track and every car in iRacing.
Oh, wow.
There's 150 of each approximately.
Yeah.
So that's 300 Twitch episodes there.
You're going to be busy for a while.
Exactly.
Just do me a favor and don't look at your iRacing account and don't look at your charges, because it will make you sick on how much you actually spend when you start looking at it.
Well, that's what the sponsors are for.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I was just going to say,
expense.
I'm hoping to get a partner. The other thing I want to do is part of it is I want to give away a track or a car every week. So I'm looking for a partner to sponsor this thing, and part of the sponsorship would be to give away partnership would be to give away one of the $15 iRacing gift cards every week, which will cover a car or a track. And so yeah, that's I just think that'd be fun.
It would be
to do the hill climb track or do dirt racing and stuff that I'm completely foreign to me will be huge comedy, I think, of doing that. And that's, I just want to have fun with the channel. So I think that would just be a fun little thing to do. And again, that's 300 pieces of content, and I'm trying to future proof everything.
There you go. Yep.
So, but guys, this has been fun. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Before we go on that topic, what's your go-to car in iRacing? Like, let's say you just wanted to drive for a bit, or you wanted to, what car would be the most fun for you to drive?
So I joke about slow to 5K, but I really am trying to get good at this. And as everyone will tell you, you need to concentrate on a couple of cars to really get good at what you're doing. So the three cars that I drive the most is, and at some point I will graduate up from the Formula V, but I'm driving lots of Formula V because I like playing with the Weekend Warriors, and it's a great car to learn on.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I
The
learned
Mazda
on.
MX, yeah, the Mazda MX-5 Cup is another one because it's near and dear to my SCCA, and I had some partnerships with Mazda, and that may be where I end up racing cars as well. As so being part of that ecosystem, even on the iRacing, is good for my brand as well.
Yep.
And then we do the McLaren GT3 car for all of the big races. So I spent a lot of time in that, and we've been in a bunch of different cars. We did the Corvette C8, we did an LMP3 car, but we've kind of settled on the McLaren because I think it's the easiest of the GT3 cars to drive.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we ran for Spa as well, and it's the first time I've driven that car, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it really is kind of a hoot, and I joke about it, but I want to get good at this. I don't like being sucky at it, and and there's a wide ocean between where I'm at to 5K. So, even if I only get to 2K, that's a vast improvement over where I am now. But to do that and to really improve, you really got to concentrate. So those are the three I concentrate on now. And at some point, I'll jump up into some other faster Formula car because my love is endurance racing and Formula cars. So that's where my brain is.
Yeah.
And
We'll-
I mean,
we'll
you
get
need
you
to get
promoted.
5K in all 5 licenses.
Oh, that's even more
that won't
future
happen.
proofing.
I'm just helping you out here, okay? You're talking about future proofing. You just need to get it all 5.
If I get to 5K in road and in Formula, I will then start 5K in something else. I'll give you my commitment.
I mean, I'm saying this is I'm still rookie in both dirt road and dirt oval, so I'm not one to talk about that.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick here. I'm glad we talked about that. And Stevie, I haven't said this in a while, but I want to thank you again for, first of all, everything you do, everything you've done, getting me in touch with these guys. This is amazing. And the reason I say that is slow motion racing. We're talking about getting better, finding a good community that we can race together with and all that stuff. I mean, JG2 and I have really hit it off because of what your idea was to start this. I mean, we're running SRG now on Wednesday nights in the F3s, right? We do all of these league races or these team races together. Jason and I just ran the Brickyard last weekend, we're doing all of this stuff, and all of it's because of you. I never would have gotten in touch with any of these guys if it wasn't for you. So I want to thank you very much for everything that you've done. So
that's so beautiful.
And not only that, you send me clothes for my daughter, so that's kind of nice too. So thank you for everything you do, man.
Yeah.
No,
And let me just say real quick, if we're gonna get sappy and emotional, you guys do a great job. I love, even when I wasn't doing Formula V, I would tune in, and because I got a lot of buddies who do all of your different racing, Stevie. But listening to the guys from Slow Motion here doing, you guys do a great job. And not that I'm angling for a payday, but and I don't have time. But if you ever need a fill in on a particular day and I'm not busy, I'd be happy to jump on board and play second fiddle to the pros here on Slow Mo and have fun with you
awesome.
guys.
Yeah, we'd be happy to have you. I promise that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I'll try not to screw it up.
So thanks guys. And Brian, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and join us tonight. It's been fun, very informative, a lot of stuff in your background to share with these guys. Really appreciate it. And just another facet, another friend in the sim racing world, and looking forward to Inside Sim Racing. See how that comes along. So
I love collaborating with other podcasters. It's a big business. It's a big business. It's a big community. There's plenty of listeners for all of us, and I want the people who listen to me to listen to you guys, and vice versa. So it's really good that we all get together and get along. So
when we started this about a year ago, I had no idea that it would stick around this long or be what it has become. But it's been a lot of fun and a great way for our Weekend Warriors to meet each other and meet some of the other people in the sim world and announcing and real world guys. We've had Dave Ogburn on here just the real world guy. So it's I'm loving this. So
yeah.
Yep.
Speaking
and
of,
my last,
go ahead.
I said my last thank you to the Formula V Weekend Warrior guys and gals. They have been nice enough to not ask me to leave, which I'm sure they wanted to, but no, I'm learning with them.
No, just don't crash into Michelle.
Yeah, don't hit Michelle and you're fine. As long as you don't hit Michelle Lynn, everything's okay.
Michelle was very gracious in telling me how I needed to do it better, and 100% correct.
Yes,
so yeah. I take the tutelage seriously. So. Very much so.
Her and Jim do a great job with that group. I'm on working Saturdays 9% of the time, so they kind of take care of the V's and
hopefully not for much longer, right, Stevie?
Another 10 months or so.
There you go.
May.
Yeah.
We're planning a pretty big party Saturday Memorial Day weekend. So
well, hey cool. Sarah, we're going down to Texas on Memorial Day. Anyways.
All right. And with that, I think that just about wraps up this edition of the Raycing Line. And again, Brian, can't thank you enough for all you do and having me on and for joining us tonight. So thanks again, and appreciate you guys. I couldn't do it without these two co-hosts. I'm not a Brian Blank. I can't do it by myself. So I guess we'll wrap it up and call that a night and see you guys next week or this weekend on the racetrack.
See you guys.
See y'all.
He is the Warriors chief. Adam's got the takes that'll roast like it's beef. Coach extraordinaire, yeah, Jason's on the mic. C4's wide open, who's rolling in tonight? It's the Raycing Line, Tuesday's prime. For sim talk pace and weekend warriors time. Strapped in tight, now hear that whine. Engines up, it's time for the Raycing Line. It's the Raycing Line, Tuesday's prime. For sim talk pace and weekend warriors time. Strapped in tight, now hear that whine. Engines up, it's time for the Raycing Line. It's the Raycing Line, Tuesdays prime for sim talk pace and weekend warriors time. Strap in tight now.
Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do.
What do we call this thing? The Raycing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host, Jason, for joining us. Adam's back this week. And as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
And help us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about the other thing.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got.
Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
No, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like 2-3 years, and finally face to face.
Yes, our first guest.
Jeff.
I'm on the spot now, Jeff.
Oh.
So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson,
Again, great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So thanks for sitting through with us. And
That was fun.
And
Thanks.
yeah, it's some good racing. So, well, first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us. And Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with.
So, Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes.
I'm not saying shit. Oh, see, I literally. Whatever,
Yep,
I give up.
there you go.
I know you've had a mute for me. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
for the V's when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
jeez.
Oh yeah.